So a few weeks ago, we built a cinder or concrete block grill. And by the way, thank you for the thousands of people that have viewed my short presentation on how to build a grill like we did a few weeks ago. And I mentioned that I was going to get the components to build a cover. I want to change my grill into a smoker, and or at least be able to cover the meat and protect it and maybe contain the heat somewhat. And what I did, I went to a local shop and I bought a piece of diamond plate, and the diamond plate is 36 inches. Here, I'll show it to you. It's very heavy, but it's going to make a great cover. I chose diamond plate because aluminum would melt, galvanized steel, the galvanization is not good for cooking use. And tin, I was very afraid that tin would really buckle on me as we got a lot of heat underneath it in the fire. So I went with a diamond plate shield here, or cover, 36 inches wide, and then from here to here is 32 inches to cover the grill cooking surface, and then from this point down is 18 inches to go down a little bit further, so you can get way on down there. Then there'll be a gap about that high from the ground to the top. The welders also put a handle on here for me of looks like it's at least a 3/4 inch stock. And so today we're going to work on this. There's several things we have to do to get this prepped for putting it on a grill outside. So I had to bring it to my workshop. There's at least 4 things I need to do. Number one, I want to mount the receiver to build the chimney. I'm going to put a chimney on this baby. It's going to be a 6-inch chimney. So I went to the hardware store and bought the connector here. Here is the chimney itself. I went with a galvanized look just to make it look a little different. After we're done with this part, we're going to paint it black, and it's going to look really good. It's a nice shiny heat resistant black, and this is an all-purpose high heat enamel, and you can see the brand right there. Okay. We also purchased a thermometer. We're going to drill some holes and attach this to it. We bought some hinges, some eye bolts, and you'll see later what those are for. We're going to put one eye bolt right here in the middle, and later we're going to run a chain from here backwards and be able to lift the whole cover up and be able to chain it in the back so it doesn't fall down, because it's very heavy. We also bought a 6-inch damper. We're going to slip this baby inside here and be able to control the heat, the airflow, the smoke outlet. We also bought a heavy chain to go through this eye bolt all the way to the top behind the grill, and then behind the grill we're going to drill some holes, and we're going to put these heavier eye bolts to be able to make it where you can just click onto the front and be able to hold that up in the air as you cook. And then also the last thing we're going to do later is we have a short piece of rope, and what we're going to do with the rope, let me show you. We're going to take the rope and wrap it around this heavy stock here, this metal, because this is going to get hot as you cook. So hopefully the rope will help take away some of that heat. So that's the initial plan today. So there's at least 3 or 4 things I've got to do to this cover before I can take it back to the grill and mount it. Number 1, I need to mount the eye bolt here. Number 2, I need to cut a 6-inch circle right here in the diamond plate. That won't be easy, but I've got to do it. And then I'm going to take this receiver and this coupler, and I'm going to cut it, flange it out, stick it inside and mount bolts on it. And then also I need to take these heavy hinges and bolt these to the back, because then after we go outside I'll mount this part of the hinge to the concrete blocks. And it's going to be very sturdy. It's going to last a long time, I hope. And thank you for joining us, and I'll go through the steps a little bit as we start drilling and cutting, and we'll talk some more. Okay, so we're all set up here. We're going to drill a hole for the thermometer first. I've chosen to go about 5 to 6 inches from the end, and then it's going to be 18 inches from here to there, right in the middle. Also, I attempted to avoid having to drill into a diamond, so I've got just straight metal right there. I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the mixture, so hopefully, there it is. And then, of course, like all good workers do, we need to use some of these goggles. Let's see if this works. Still drilling this hole, and actually this hole here is for an eye hook, not the thermostat. We'll take, or thermometer. We'll put the thermometer over toward the left there a little bit. So let's throw some oil on this. There we go. Look at that. Well, that's nice. That's nice. And then that'll go right through there, and then we'll have that as a hook area. So later we can lift it up, and with a chain and hook we'll be able to keep that up in the air for a little bit when we need to. I'm going to cut it out a little bit more, kind of wipe it down, get all that grit off there, shavings. And it looks like it needs to be a little bit bigger. There we go. Maybe that'll work there. Let's see. Oh yeah, that'll work. We'll be using some a lot of washers on this project. I really want this baby to hold up well. Now, let's see if we can drill another hole here for the thermostat, for the thermometer rather. There we go. A little bit of oil. I tapped it with a hole punch to give me a little bit of area there so I can drill. And let's see what she looks like. Let's throw some more oil on this. There we go. Might have to do that 3 or 4 times. There we go. I think when it starts smoking, that's when you ought to put a little bit more oil on it. Let's do that. There's no special oil I'm using, just the automotive grade oil. It's also good to save old oil, maybe, to put into some of these uses. Oh yeah. Perfect, perfect. Now, let me wipe that down. And here's that thermostat, that thermometer. We're going to run that through later. We're going to mount it and be able to tell how hot that baby is. I can turn it to the left or the right. I'll probably turn it toward the front of the grill. 3 holes on this side, 3 holes on this side. And I've also chosen to come in at least 7 inches here and 7 inches on this side, and that's going to be the very center hole in my hinge. And I went outside and measured my grill. There's a lot of reasons I wanted 7 inches. You just have to look at your cinder block or concrete block grill. Know that this part here, when you bolt this on, will go into a good amount of concrete and not a seam. So I went out to measure, and 7 inches would be perfect. So we're going to mount those right here, and I've got to get this right over. Then later we'll go outside and mount this right on the concrete. And so let me put some holes on here. That would go one there, and one here, and one here. And then on this side, also same thing. One there, one here, and one here. Now, once these are drilled, I'm getting much closer to be able to finish the lid, the cover, so I can spray paint it. But I'm not going to mount these until after I spray paint it. So let's get busy with the holes. I'm going to go ahead and pop the center of this so I can have a starting point. I'll do all 6 of them. And here is a diamond plate I'll have to go through. That's just the way it landed. There we go, just like that. Alright, and let's dab a little oil on here, and let's see if we can push this drill bit through. I'm going to use 1/4 inch bits for this, so I had to change my bit here, or 1/4 inch screws. And also I have some washers, so I'm going to use just a 1/4 inch. That's plenty deep enough. It's only about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 inch. Okay, so here we go. Add a little bit more oil just to be on the safe side, which you can't actually be too careful with this. Oh yeah, that went through. Okay, so there's our last hole for these hinges. We'll take a little brush here and sweep up this excess metal, these metal flakes. And let's see here. Kind of clean up. I always like to clean up a little bit as I go so I don't have a big mess, and then I feel a little bit better about my project as I'm cleaning up. So that's kind of a nice thing. Later we'll wash down this whole top, bottom and outside and inside, so I can paint it and not have a lot of oils on it because the paint won't adhere. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is clear off the project. Next thing we need to do is locate a place for the chimney. At this point I'm not sure whether I'm going to go with a round hole for this. And see, what we need to do is cut this, make flanges, and then from the bottom up, go up through it, and then drill 4 holes for the 4 flanges. So we're going to see in a minute how we're going to cut this. I'm not sure, for I've never done it before.